The documentary about his fall off is going to be the best NIL cautionary tale for that generation. LMFAO, do you remember when this kid was 12 and we thought he'd be a lottery pick after freshman year of college? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great Thursday. Hope all of you having a great week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. Man, oh man, we got to talk about an individual who, if you keep up with basketball to the slightest, you more likely have heard this guy, heard the name, Mikey Williams. By the way, the Sweet 16 starts tonight, and Alabama has the first game against the BYUs. I thought about doing a live reaction video to that, and I don't mean just like a recorded live reaction. I was thinking about seriously going live on YouTube, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of you guys don't care for that. Let me know in the comment section. I was thinking, maybe cool to go live during some of the games, but the more I thought about it, the more it didn't seem like that good of an idea. I'll probably just watch the games like we've been doing. We'll do a recap on the channel, so be on the lookout for that real late tonight and early in the morning on Friday. That is completely besides the point. What we're to talk about is a situation that is ongoing with Mr. Mikey. I'm not going to give you the backstory on this young man. By this point in time, we all know what has went down. One of the top freshmen in the country, 5-star recruit. He kind of declined a little bit. The competition caught up to him. Also got into some legal trouble. He has to leave Memphis, and he ends up at UCF. I got to be 100% honest with y'all. I never thought him transferring to UCF was a perfect fit, a match made in heaven, or anything like that. It seemed like a last resort. I personally never got the vibes that Mikey Williams really wanted to be there. I thought he wanted to be at Memphis, but crap hit the fan. He had to transfer and go to UCF. It is what it is. In this most recent season, UCF didn't have that good of a year. And Mikey, he didn't play that much, but that was to be expected. He was a freshman. It was his first season. I'll show you some of his stats and numbers. He appeared in 18 games, started 5 of those at the end of the season. Averaged 14 minutes per game, had a 37% field goal percentage. That's not very good. Shot 20% from the three-point line and 80% from the free throw line. Averaged 5.1 points per game, 1.9 rebounds, 0.7 assists, and like we just talked about, 37% from the overall field. Your casual fan is going to look at this, and haters out there are going to say, oh yeah, Mikey Williams, he's a bust. I knew he wasn't going to be good, yada, yada, yada. You know what they're going to say. They're going to ridicule him. However, I need to remind some of you, I know there was high expectations for this young man as a freshman and sophomore in high school, but he's only a freshman in college putting up these numbers. And also, didn't Bronny James have a similar stat line to this at USC? Look what he's doing. He's balling out. Here's where I'm trying to go at with this. If you're writing off Mikey Williams as a dud, as a bust already, I think you've lost your mind. And it's not fair. Not just basketball, but most sports out here, it's all about opportunity. I know great players that never got a great opportunity, therefore, they're working some regular job. And there's nothing wrong with working a regular job. I'm just saying it's all about preparation meeting opportunity in this life. And almost everything and anything you do. I don't like to say the word luck. I never like it when someone says, oh, well, he got lucky. Because more times than not, like I just said, it's preparation meets opportunity. A good example of this is if you grind your butt off for 20 years, let's say you post YouTube videos or TikTok videos, whatever social media platform you desire, for 8 years, nobody watches, and then in the 9th year, your videos start getting a ton of views and taking off, well, that's not lucky because you put in 8 years of work. You're not really an overnight success, if that makes sense. Lucky to me is a girl who was born smoking hot and she's never gonna have to work just solely based off of her looks. That's pure luck. I'll put it into even better perspective so you understand what I'm talking about. Livy Dunn, greatest example I can give you. Why does she get all these NIL deals, sponsorships, brand deals, endorsements, whatever you want to call them? Because she's hot. Period. The end. It's not because she's good at gymnastics. It's because of her looks. Pretty privilege. Her being born hot is the definition of luck. Can't dumb it down any more than that. I'm getting a little sidetracked. My apologies. Getting back on track here at Mr. Mikey Williams. I don't think he's had that great of an opportunity just quite yet at the collegiate level. And some of that is because of his own faults. I'm not going to dive into that legal matter too much. If you know, you know. It's in the past. It's over with. Fast forward time into our current date. The main reason I'm making this video is because the breaking news just came out that Mikey Williams is entering the transfer portal. The news did come out a couple days ago, but I wanted to sit back, relax, and see how all this was going to unfold and just see the reactions from everyone out there. This post from On3 has over 10 million views, and the comments, like you have probably guessed, they're ripping him to shreds. The documentary about his fall off is going to be the best NIL cautionary tale for that generation. LMFAO, do you remember when this kid was 12 and we thought he'd be a lottery pick after freshman year of college? Look at these comments on Instagram. Is it wrong that I still have so much belief in Mikey? And no, it's not. I believe in him as well because I've seen him. He's talented as it gets. Matt Not Miller said, I want to see this dude go to a solid program and do well. I'd love to see him under Coach Cal at Arkansas, and I'd love to see that as well. I think that'd be a pretty solid fit. Bruh, been a fan for a while, but no harsh way to put it besides. Time to put the fries in the bag. Alright, what is this? XL with an A&W root beer and 3 cheeseburgers. Hurry up the order, I'm hungry. Nah, you tripping. Obviously, that guy's trying to be funny, and I'm not gonna lie. That was a good comment. It did catch me off guard. As to when I'm speaking and making this video, and it's why I waited to do so, there's now reports coming out that Mikey Williams is talking to Memphis yet again. For those of you who don't know, Penny Hardaway loves Mikey Williams, and it's vice versa. Mikey Williams loves Penny Hardaway. I think they'd be a great fit together. I think Mikey Williams would flourish in that system. He'd thrive, and also there's not going to be a lot of pressure at Memphis. Memphis is also a pretty good team. I think we can all agree on that. I know they got bounced out in March Madness, but I think Hardaway's doing a heck of a job there. And why I would love this, not just for Hardaway, but more so Mikey Williams, he wouldn't feel the need to press. At UCF, with them having a not-so-good team, got blown out a couple times this year, you would see Mikey Williams force terrible shots. Granted, I know he can make those, but that's not the shot selection you want to see out of him. You want to see him get in a rhythm. At Memphis, I think he could do that. I really think he would get in a, I guess you'd say, better flow in the Hardaway system. At UCF, you know what I saw this year out of Mikey? A ton of one-on-one basketball. It looked like an NBA game almost. And that's why his field goal percentage is so low. It's not because he's not a good shooter or a good shot maker. It's because he's taking so many difficult shots. I think Coach Hardaway would set him up for success, whether that be him taking the ball up the floor or being a second, third, or maybe even a fourth option. Maybe he's even a sixth man off the bench. There's nothing wrong with being a sixth man. Caleb Grill was one of the best players in the SEC this year, and he was a sixth man for Missouri. With all that being said, though, here's where things get a little wishy-washy for me, and I don't know how all this is going to turn out. As to where it stands right now with everything I've seen, I think he's going to end up back at Memphis. That's my gut feeling. But let's say, hypothetically speaking for the sake of this video, Memphis, they're not interested, or Mikey, he doesn't want to go there either. Where would he land? Because you got to think about it. He is no longer this prestigious 4-5-star recruit coming out of high school. He's just a guy who shot 37% from the field and averaged 5 points per game. I highly, and I mean I highly doubt you're going to see your big-time blue bloods and new bloods like Alabama, Auburn, or Duke, Kentucky, Kansas. Who else should we throw in there? Michigan State. Your top dogs, go after them. Top 15 teams. Don't see that happening. But to go on top of that, I don't know if a top 25 team like Ole Miss would even go after him, or a Clemson. If he wants to go to a Power 4 team, it has to be a team that's middle of the road or a bottom feeder in any conference. But I think he would thrive the most in a non-Power 4 school. Or not in a non-Power 4 school, a non-Power 4 conference. You get what I'm trying to say. It's going to be really fascinating to see how all this unfolds. I don't want to say he's running out of time, but at the same time, yeah. He kind of is. Especially if he wants to make the NBA, because the NBA, this is a thought process. Why would I go after a guy who's 21, 22 years old, who's just now getting out of college, who has probably hit his peak, when I can get the 18 or 19-year-old who has a ton of potential? I think he's going to be just fine. Many more things I could say. Wishing him the best of luck. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. But bye-bye.